Pew, pew, doo, bididoo, dididoo. All right, you boys ready?
Yep.
Welcome, episode 386. It's definitely been a minute. Steven, Danny, and Vin are here. Boys, I'm going to ask you this straight off the bat. At what point is Ben Simmons considered a top bust of all time?
He doesn't because he played in the playoffs a bunch of times with the Sixers.
Yeah, but he wasn't good.
That's not his fault.
Eddie
There's
Curry,
guys that
Eddie Curry
never.
has a ring with the Miami Heat.
I mean, there's a lot worse players that never stiffed more than like a couple years in the actual league.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot worse players. Are there worse players that like physically
had this
don't know
hype.
how to shoot? I don't know about that.
It's just like every year it's the same shit with this guy.
I
Like,
mean, he's just not a guard.
I just don't know.
I don't know. He's averaging 6 points a game. That's very funny to just look at.
Yeah,
For
he's
his career,
terrible.
or is that like this year?
No, this year and last year.
But I feel like he's played like a total of one full season.
He has played in his career one. Well, I'll give him two. He played 81 games and 79 games in his first two seasons in the league. Since then, it's been 57, 58, 42, 15. Obviously, there's some COVID shit mixed in there. But it's really
He won
just the
Rookie of
last
the
2
Year?
years.
He won Rookie of the Year?
He was good. Like, he wasn't bad.
I'm on his basketball reference. I didn't realize he won Rookie of the Year.
He won Rookie of the Year without attempting a three, which is funny.
Yeah,
Who else was in that rookie class?
he was that good.
Let's see.
2017.
Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum and Kuzma and Dennis Smith Jr. Really just Donovan Mitchell.
The finalists were Simmons, Mitchell, and Tatum.
Now, love to go back there and change that.
Draft class?
Change that award or just, I mean, I'd rather have almost any of those other people except him.
Yeah, basically.
Well, I do love those videos when they redo draft class and things like that.
Yeah, he's still, I guess.
Let's see, 2017 NBA draft, right? Let's see, Hans. Well, the Sixers took the first overall pick and took Fultz.
Yeah, that's a bigger bust.
Right.
Lonzo Ball went 2 that year. Nobody knows where he is.
Well, he's dead in Chicago because of a knee injury.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he was in Chicago. Tatum went 3.
He was doing good, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was doing fine, but there was a crippling knee injury.
Isn't
Like-
the younger one finally in like China or something now?
No,
I think the younger brother. One of them's.
I think LaMelo is the youngest, so the middle one.
LaMelo's playing right now.
Yeah, he's on the.
Well, that's because he covered up his tattoo. That was an ad for something that nobody likes or something. Like
Yeah.
Josh Jackson went 4 in that draft. Darren Fox. No, that was the famous draft, Danny.
Oh.
Knicks drafted Frank.
Frank Ntilikina. Yeah.
That
That'll get me
good
canceled
podcast.
There's no way for you that you could have known, Danny. There's no way.
It's a French guy named Frank. What did you? What else? What was he? Like,
I mean, one of the worst. I mean, the Knicks don't draft anybody really good, but
No.
well, that's why I'm convinced this offseason You take every draft pick, and it's time to It's time to trade the draft farm again, and go after Luca. Just say how many first round picks do you want?
You know how?
What did they
Austin
get? What did they get for what's his name in Minnesota? Or Minnesota give up for what's his name?
It's too much. I don't remember the exact. It was like wow,
Karl
all
Anthony
that
Towns?
for Rudy Gobert, all that for defensive player is like yikes.
The Mavs are currently the 8th seed. Yeah, you wouldn't think that they're gonna make too much noise.
So Gobert went to the Wolves.
Right.
The Jazz got Beasley, Patrick Beverley,
Pepev.
That boy Bet.
Leonardo
I've
Balmaro,
watched this video so many fucking times.
Walker
That-
Kessler, who was the 22nd pick in the 2022 draft, Jared Vanderbilt, a 2023 first rounder, 2025 first rounder, a swap of 2026s, 2027 and 2029 first rounders. Take out the players and just give them all the draft picks they want.
Basically.
Take out the players and just get Luca.
And then Karl Anthony Towns is out for the season, so that sucks for them.
Yeah.
But I just like.
But Ant's finally coming into his own, so maybe.
He also liked playing for Tibbs.
Yeah, that's been a rumor since Tibbs has gotten here, and it's just not gonna work out.
If he likes
He's
playing
not
for
that.
Tibbs
He's
enough,
not that guy anymore. You know,
Cat or Tibbs?
Cat.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say if Cat wanted Tibbs around, Tibbs would have never lost his job in Minnesota.
Well, and Tibbs. Cat was a lot younger when that happened.
Right, but he was the franchise at that point, so it was, hey, what's your thoughts on you? You need to go to him and say, hey, what's your thoughts on the coach?
And he's also from Jersey, so he'd be relatively local. I forget which part of Jersey.
I'm still saying the circle guy. I don't know what the free agency looks like, but if I'm the Knicks, the Dallas Mavericks are the call. What does it take to get Luka? What do you want for Luka? Brunson's the only guy off the table.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, we talk.
I don't know. See, the thing with the Knicks is they are that one piece away, but
if you it's like when they traded Melo, they traded so much away that they lost.
It's the same thing we have every time. That when you have to trade for the star, all of your depth is gone out the window, and then it's useless.
And the Knicks are actually building it right. But like we've mentioned so many other times, of course, go figure, they're finally doing it, but it's NBA.
Well, yeah, and now everybody's hurt, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, they're playing hard. That's just the annoying thing. It's like watching them every game. It's just like, man, I can't wait until Randall comes back. Oh, I can't wait for OG's back. All right, thank God Brunson's okay, kind of thing. So it's
listen, I would hold Brunson back another week.
Possible.
That's what if I was the Knicks, I would hold Brunson back another week. The guy's averaging more minutes than Rose did the year Rose tore his ACL.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they are lucky that it's just a bruise.
Yeah, you could say that again.
Yeah, you lost to Atlanta. Okay, you're playing Orlando next.
Yeah,
while we're recording that, their next game is Friday the 8th against Orlando, and then they got 2 games at home against Philly back-to-back. Sunday and Tuesday.
That's interesting.
It's weird. I was talking to somebody at work about it, and he said the Nets did that recently too, and I was talking to my dad. It's not like Philly's a travel. It's not like you could say the thing, oh, Philly had to travel, so we figured while they're there, if they had to play 2 games, we might as well save money.
Right. That's interesting.
If it was like Chicago, okay, that I could understand. You don't want to have them fly back a couple weeks later or whatever.
Okay.
How old is Luka Doncic?
24?
25.
I was close.
Yeah, Luka's still very talented.
So he's basically would be a year younger than Carmelo was when the Knicks traded for Carmelo. Because when the Knicks traded for Carmelo, he was 26.
Or they could sign LeBron in the offseason.
Oh, I'm so over that. And KD, all his family's telling him to sign with the Knicks too.
Well,
don't
no,
know.
his agent is a big Knicks fan, and that's what happened.
Well, then he
Is
should
he
have signed here 10 years ago.
No,
Is he available, KD? Like, what? Is he? a free
Aren't
agent?
they always all available?
I don't know.
Vince?
That's what I'm
Like,
asking.
they're all
they're
free agents
basically
every
all
year.
yeah.
Right.
There's player outs. No, with him it was when KD and Kyrie were free agents, and he went to Brooklyn instead. And everybody's coming to the Knicks, coming to the Knicks, coming to the Knicks. That guy was
I
like,
thought it
"Come to
was
the
the year
Knicks."
he did the whole
No.
it
It
he
was
went to Golden State. I thought that was the year he was
possible,
big.
but it was definitely the year that we were all dreaming that it was KD, Kyrie, and Zion.
Kind of happy we never got.
Yeah, we dodged a huge
What
bullet.
happened to
looking
that
back.
guy?
Zion's actually kind of playing this year.
He's
Okay.
playing well. He's not first overall playing, but like seems like he's stuck in.
He plays
He's stuck
Yeah.
in
New Orleans.
New Orleans for a long time. He made the mistake of signing a bigger contract there.
Well, he did make the mistake. He just was like, "I'm making that money. I don't know how many more years I'm playing. I'm gonna
I mean,
eat
yeah, for a
myself
guy who
out
got
of it."
hurt as much as he did, you can't really.
What is a part GTD?
What?
I don't know.
GTD guaranteed.
Oh, part guaranteed. So he still has 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking at Zion.
Yeah, he has.
Where part of it's guaranteed next year, and then it's 3 years of non-guaranteed
It
money.
lost its luster once Barrett's not on the team anymore,
Right, because the old idea was to have them play together.
and now we're all Villanova out.
Right. Now we don't want the Duke guys. We want the Villanova guys.
Yeah.
KD has 2 more years on his son's contract after this.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Can't leave him.
Yeah, I don't. I was just
I
looking.
I
at the
mean,
list
I wouldn't. I
quickly.
wouldn't leave. And KD is starting to not slow down, but he's not what he was.
He has his rings. It's not like he needs to chase a ring anymore.
No, I know, but Phoenix is still a good team.
Right. It is also funny you mentioned LeBron before, and like
Yeah, they're.
you're saying
Well, they're
Bronny's
sixth in
draft
the West
ranking
but
is like a 2nd round pick.
he doesn't
Yeah,
play- he's a
yeah.
rotational player at USC. He doesn't play.
Yeah.
It's because they don't want. He doesn't because of his heart thing. They like came to an
he
agreement.
stinks.
He's staying. Yeah, he's staying next year.
He's just bad. He's not a good player.
Well, his middle child is
The better
taller.
Great.
Yeah,
now we're waiting for the middle one. Now we got to.
LeBron's playing for another 10 years
12
waiting for the
years.
middle one.
Oh my god.
No, you know what's going to happen.
No,
LeBron's going to retire.
He is nice, so and the
He's
Clippers
gonna-
are
great.
LeBron's going to retire. Get a team in Vegas, buy out the 1st overall pick, and draft a son.
Whatever it is, he can coach his sons.
thing with Bronny is good, obviously, but obviously last year's heart attack, almost dying on the court, was like, all right. Hopefully next year he bounces back and is Bronny.
Plays more and
sure, but he's just.
well, people expected him to be like Kyrie.
Well,
this
but the
year
thing
when
with
he had the heart problem.
Bronny's more of a point guard.
I don't know. It doesn't.
Where
seem to
Bryce
be
is going to
there.
be LeBron, basically. He's a skinnier. He's like KD right now. He
Right.
hasn't
Once
grown
he starts
into
putting
his-
on muscle, he's basically going to become LeBron 2.0.
Well, let's compare him to KD then. Let's call him KD Jr.
Yeah, show him. He has the rec specs and everything.
Does he?
Good.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Bryce?
Bryce.
James.
James.
LeBron James.
He does.
But he's nice with it, though. So it's just like, oh,
How old is he? 14?
he might be a sophomore or junior.
Okay, so he's 14 or 15.
Yeah, but he's tall and lanky, and he can get to the hole.
In high school. Great.
Here you go.
Yeah. He's the tall. Yeah, he's taller than. See,
He's taller than his
Bronny.
dad was.
Bronny got screwed. Bronny has the wife's genes.
Got it.
Huh.
That's-
Oh, okay. That's before the age, because
Right.
Bron is clearly taller than him.
Yeah, this is. I just saw this picture, so I clicked on it.
Right.
This is the youngest son.
Yeah, it's the second child of 3 he has that we know about.
Oh, Wow. Danny taking shots.
No shots. I mean, he plays in the NBA. He's LeBron James.
You know, if LeBron James had an illegitimate son, that would be hysterical.
Hey, man, all of them do.
Where you find out Ben Simmons is actually his illegitimate son.
LeBron was 10 when it happened.
He doesn't claim him though. He's like, do you see how bad he is?
I saw a reel of Tracy Morgan, and they ask, how many children do you think he has? And he goes, on paper or off paper?
I could see LeBron just doing his thing, like claiming kids, and then when they turn bad, he's like, "Nah, that ain't my kid." I don't know.
No.
I don't know what kid you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just
he's Chris Paul's son.
Do you guys like LeBron?
I've came to around the circle of liking LeBron and him being number 2 on the list.
He'll always be number 2, and it's time that people just accept it. Like,
I don't know if I.
But I'm starting to get why they say he's the greatest of all time. Don't agree with it, but yeah.
I'm not the biggest basketball fan.
But and now it's getting to the point of like the longevity part of it.
That's what I know.
And it's just like there's no point of hating on LeBron.
I was a little young for MJ.
Right.
But like the run they went on, LeBron, whatever one ended with the 5-game loss to the Warriors, which is obviously a weird one to pick. But like I for some reason got really into that one. It was like, I can't imagine another person playing better than the way this person is playing.
Right, and that was
like
all.
He carried the whole fucking.
That thing. That was all 3 of the Warriors finals games.
Well, even the whole run leading up to the finals.
No, that's what I'm saying. Each of the series against them, wasn't LeBron's fault.
Right. And then
because Kyrie, the first one, Kyrie blew up.
Was the end of it.
Yeah, LeBron. I mean, Kyrie blew his knee in the first one, and then there was the epic comeback, the second
which
one,
they won.
And then Durant with Curry and Clay was, even though LeBron was basically unstoppable, they couldn't stop that.
Well, yeah, that was the one he broke his hand, didn't he? He punched the fucking chalkboard or something.
LeBron?
That was Lamar Stoudemire.
I know, but I think LeBron did something.
Fire hydrant thing, shattered his arm. Thank God he missed an artery.
But the LeBron one,
I don't know. Looking back,
I was at a Ranger playoff game when that happened with Tommy Heeman.
Anyway, but no,
we were in Rosen's watching MSG, and that was like, oh, Amari Stoudemire is out forever for punching a fire extinguisher. Oh my god!
Yeah, because they lost the first game on the stupid JR forgetting what the score was, and then
once that happened, we were like, oh, it's over.
It was over.
You felt good about it because you finally beat. Was it Boston they beat in the first round that year?
Maybe.
Was that I thought that was the one that they didn't even win around. Yeah, because Amari wasn't on the team that won. Or at least
you're talking about. I'm sorry. That was.
We went back to Amari.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He wasn't a big part of the team that beat Boston.
No.
That was the one they lost to Boston. He did that.
Right. It was the year before. That was the first round. Yeah.
Right. The year when they beat Boston and then lost to Indiana, he was like a role player, or he was hurt. His back was fucked or something.
Yeah. Yeah, they lost the Heat one playoff round 1 year.
It was the Heat,
right? And
not the Celtics. Yeah,
they beat the Celtics in one, and they.
Yeah, the Celtics.
And then they got blown out by
the end of the Celtic dynasty.
Yeah, that was the end of the Celtic.
I think Ray was gone already.
Yeah, I was at game 1 of that series.
Ray was gone, and then they traded Paul Pierce and KG to the Nets like 10 minutes later.
Still the worst trade of all time.
Oh, God.
They literally the Nets helped the Celtics become this generation because of that trade.
The Nets had a.
Right, the Nets
made the playoffs.
Personally helped the Celtics come back and become the Celtics again by making.
I'm blanking. The Nets had a guy, or am I just confusing it with Porzingis? The Nets had a big European dude, didn't they?
That was the owner.
I guess that's what I'm
Prokhorov.
thinking of.
Yeah.
That's
That
probably
was the
what I'm
owner.
thinking of. Yeah,
Yeah, he
it
looks
was
exactly
the owner. I remember that,
He
but
looked similar, like
I thought they had a Porzingis type.
they had Bogdanovich from the Knicks.
Nah,
Chris
that was not-
Humphries was there for a minute.
Maybe that's no.
But I think that was
he wasn't that
Jersey
good.
still. I don't know if he was in Brooklyn.
He was definitely in Brooklyn.
Maybe I'm just thinking of Brooke Lopez, which I didn't think I was. I mean, obviously they had Brooke Lopez.
One of the greatest Nets of all time.
Yeah, pretty much.
People forget he was a Net.
Do they?
Lopez?
I don't know. Well, he's
I
been on
don't-
the Bucks for so long.
Forever now, yeah.
Won his
Humphries
title with them.
played 65 games in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
It's one
Unless-
season. He played one season in Brooklyn.
I know, but there might have been the season he was with Kim.
I
Kim
think it
in
was.
Jersey.
Yeah.
73-day marriage, I think it was.
Just about a season.
Right. He was married longer
He had
than
a
he played
couple.
in
He had
Brooklyn.
he had a couple rest days, maintenance days.
Some maintenance days in the marriage.
But not on national TV, so nobody
And
got fined
It
for it.
was long enough to win an MVP, though. If he was up there, he would have played
Can't
long.
deal with the Kardashians and Jenners.
Oh, God.
Listen, it could have been worse. Who's the guy who almost died a couple years ago? The NBA guy
Marlon.
Oh,
Right.
Lamar. Yeah.
who was married to one of them.
That is
So?
still to this
No,
day,
he's not anymore.
still to this day, one of Stephen A's greatest clips of all time on First Take.
Was it that the get off the weed one, or is that you
No,
smoke crack?
no, he smoked. He is who was on crack.
Crack, yeah. Who would
Phil
get off the
Jackson,
weed?
your first move as a president for the New York Knicks is the guy who smoked crack.
Who was the get off the weed? Was he talking about?
You can name any player.
I don't know.
No, all of them.
No, but that was like the first time he said it. was-
Weed.
Yeah.
Stay off the weed. You can name any player.
I
It wasn't
they're all
Ricky
that-
Williams.
Hold on,
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I'm going
look it
through
up. Oh, there's a collection of it. All right.
Yeah,
I don't have
yeah.
time for a collection.
Yeah, there's a collection.
There's so many.
Josh Gordon's the biggest one on the list.
That's probably
Okay.
it. That was
Josh
probably it.
Gordon, like
Yeah, that was definitely Josh Gordon because, dude, imagine if he wasn't so addicted to drugs.
Oh God.
That
Or
one
imagine
year.
more realistic, more appropriately, they just didn't care about it and they just let
Right.
it go.
imagine he
Like-
was
like
now.
now?
Think about
Yeah.
it. If he was now, then they're kind of like, okay. do
But
it.
that's the weird thing. Like Megatron got away with it. Well, obviously he's Megatron, but how didn't the Browns just be like, he's really good? So let's not look at this.
They're the Browns.
Because they're the Browns. They're the
But they were the Lions. So what's
right.
the
I was
point?
about to say, in fairness, Megatron was on the Lions. He was on an 0-16 Lions team, so
But like he was doing, Josh Gordon was doing Megatron shit with Derek Anderson throwing the ball. That wasn't even Derek Anderson. It was Brian Hoyer.
Oh, damn.
I'm thinking. At least fucking Megatron had Stafford.
what was the year they went 0-16?
He
The
was on that.
Browns?
No.
Lions 0-16.
Lions.
Oh, the Lions. It was 08.
2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
'cause they got
Lions
Stafford
were-
in 09.
The Browns was 2017.
So in the year they went 0-16, the Lions, Calvin Johnson had 78 catches for 1,331 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Correct.
And they still went 0.
With people like
Yeah.
John Kitna, the ghost of Dante Culpepper, Dan Orlovsky, who ran out of the back of the end zone.
Forget.
I'm sure there was another person who
Rob Marinelli was the coach of that team, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Was that the year that he ran?
And then the Browns.
Orlovsky, Kitna. So their quarterback room was Dan Orlovsky, John Kitna, Dante Culpepper, Drew Stanton, and Drew Henson.
Oh my God.
Drew Henson.
I remember Stan. He went played in Michigan State.
I thought that was Henson.
No, man,
No,
Henson
Henson
played
was
for Michigan. Come on.
Michigan, brah.
Oh,
Come
that's
on,
right.
Michigan man. Come on.
That-
Also a third baseman.
Third baseman for your New York Yankees.
Yep.
They're
Also a
running.
Dallas Cowboy for a little bit.
Right.
Dante Culpepper was third on the team in rushing.
He was supposed to be this. That was after the Miami shit where he got hurt. He was supposed to be the starting quarterback, I think, and then I think he got hurt again. And that's
Oh
why
wait,
we had
sorry. It was Kevin Smith had 976, Rudy Johnson 237, Dan Orlovsky had 39, Kitna had 34, Culpepper had 25 yards.
Okay, right? Because
And-
I know Culpepper was supposed to be the guy, and then he got hurt, and that's why they had to go to all the nonsense.
And then for the Browns is Deshaun Kaiser, and me and Steve go, he's not good. From the jump street, I'm like, he's not good. He just cashed in. Who is the fast wide receiver that went to the Texans who's always hurt?
Brandon
Tavon. No, not Tavon.
The hell's his name? He went to Notre Dame with the dreadlocks.
I know who you're talking about because I would pick him up in Madden and make him my kick returners. By the way, Dan Campbell was on the 0-16. Roy Williams was also on that team.
Hold on, what was the second name you said?
Roy Williams was on that.
Oh.
Who? Dan Campbell, though. Yeah, Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell was on that team.
Yeah, I know he was.
Fast wide receiver. I can't believe I just wrote fast wide receiver. No name. Will Fuller.
Yes.
Yeah, Will Fuller.
Yeah, all he did was literally throw it to Will Fuller down the field like 50 yards. And I'm like, oh my god, this guy's great. No,
I was watching something. It was showing like it was like an all-star high school game that was going on recently,
Right.
like the Under Armour high school game or middle school game, and they're like, yeah, look at this guy, how great he is at quarterback. And then they showed the wide receiver who's a 5-star recruit, and he just kept running go routes past everybody, and the guy would just throw it up in the air to him. And then they're like, yeah, look at the quarterback stat line. I'm like, he literally just threw go routes. One guy.
And then
Will
I remember the Jets lost to them because Tyrod got hurt, and then they put in Baker on that random Thursday night.
The Browns.
And then All Light had all the chain link, like the Browns fans chain link cooler that they couldn't open up the cooler until the Browns won, and they all automatically unlocked. That was fun. That was a fun app.
Yes. Because Tyrod keeps losing his job to injuries.
Is Will Fuller out of the league?
Yes.
Probably because he got hurt, and then
he went somewhere.
He went somewhere, but he was too banged up. Oh no, didn't he get suspended for a couple games?
He did. He got suspended.
He had a suspension in there, but he's been out since 2021.
Right.
He went to Miami for a season.
Yeah.
He
couldn't make it in Miami. Wow.
I don't know because this 2020
does anybody
season,
really make it in Miami?
He had 53 catches, 879 yards, 8 touchdowns. I remember at the deadline of that season, the Packers were trying to trade for him, and then he got suspended the next year, and he just disappeared off the face of the earth.
That's usually what happens. Injuries and suspensions are going to kill a guy's career.
Like I thought he was starting to figure it out, you know.
He didn't. I mean, if he wanted to, the smart move now would be on March 20th, 2021, he signed a 1-year, $10.6 million contract with the Dolphins and broke his thumb in week 4.
Right.
Was absent from team facilities after his injury and informed after the season they wouldn't re-sign him.
And then
never saw him again.
Just nobody gave him a job. That's what it is.
If anything, go play for whatever the Rock League is called, XFL, USFL, whatever they're calling that thing.
That feels like a guy
who can go there and dominate.
No, that the Chiefs could give nothing to, and he could just, run.
Trade, cut Kadarius Toney and just give him.
It's true. Well, he can.
Hey, can you run a straight line and not smoke weed? Thanks.
MVS is a free agent now, so he can have his role.
They'll just find someone. They'll find someone in the parking lot who's still hanging out there.
Probably.
Also, football this week. I'm going to give a nice shout out to Jason Kelsey on his retirement from his career.
Lovely.
And might I say, holy shit, tearful listening to him speak.
Yeah.
No question, first ballot. 5 years from now, he'll be in Canton.
Probably, yeah, 100%.
Probably one of the greatest centers to ever play.
I don't disagree. I mean, it's tough to gauge that kind of stuff with offensive line play and generations and shit. But he's definitely one of the best of this generation.
He said it on the pod. I was listening to their podcast, and of course, if you want to cry more about the retirement, Travis starts tearing up, thanking him for everything, and I was just like, "You guy, stop it." But he was saying it was like crazy because his rookie year was the lockout year. So he had no training camp, and then he shows up the training camp, and he's snapping to Michael Vick and Vince Young. And he said it was just surreal to be doing. So.
Yeah, no, he was good. And the moment he was talking about Travis was really good. So,
Listen, the one guy I was shocked wasn't there was Andy Reid. You saw the engagement between the two of them last year when they played each other in the Super Bowl.
Right.
I think he only played maybe 1 year with Randy Reid in Philly.
Yeah, I think it was 1 or 2 years. He obviously drafted him, but
yeah. I mean, the lockout. The lockout was 2013.
No, it's 2011.
The year the Giants won the Super Bowl.
It's 2011.
2011.
Kevin Bass.
Yeah, he sucked.
I didn't even think Andy Reid made it that long, to be honest.
Yeah, he made 2013.
Andy Reid was there forever.
2013, 2014.
Let's look.
I got it right.
Because Pat Shurmur beat us the last week of the season that year.
2012 was his last year in Philly. So it was 2 and then he went right to Kansas City. So yeah,
so it was 2012 and then Chip came.
Correct.
2013 was 2012. 2013 was Chip.
Yeah, Shurmur played the last game, coached the last game versus us.
Yeah, because they finished 8-8 in 2011, so you had to give him the next season. They make the playoffs? No, they didn't.
Well, it was only that. So they went 4-12. That was only their second losing season under him. Third losing season under him.
I mean,
but he definitely got unlucky because of one of the quarterbacks got hurt.
In what?
12.
It was Vic. It was that.
Vic definitely got hurt
because 2010
Foles played 7 games. Vic only played 10. Yeah. Trent Edwards was there for a game.
That was the end of Vic.
Right.
Trent Edwards.
And he played the random year and a half with the Jets.
With the Jets and Steelers.
I forgot the Steelers.
He actually stayed another year in Philly with Chip.
And then
the
rumors.
You expected
and the rumor,
Vic,
yeah.
Deshaun going under Chip Kelly was going to be electric.
Then the rumors with Chip was crazy.
Right. Their quarterbacks that year in the Chip year were Nick Foles, Vic, Matt Barkley, and Brad Smith threw one pass. Shout out. Remember Brad Smith? Shout out.
Yeah, he was awesome with the Jets.
Great.
Yeah.
Punt returner. And he was the wildcat guy that never threw, but if he threw at least once, he would have completed a couple passes.
Right. Chip Kelly, 10-6, 10-6. 6-9.
Yeah, that was
fired.
Definitely.
And
that was when everyone was like, "This guy's ruining." The guy traded LaShawn McCoy for.
This guy's racist.
And then
who did he trade LaShawn McCoy for?
Kiko Alonso.
Kiko, that's right.
But he was always hurt, so he was damaged goods.
He coached the San Francisco 49ers for the one season between Harbaugh and Shanahan.
Right.
And they went 2-14.
And then he got fired. Then he got fired. Then Jim Tom. Oh no, that was after Jim Tom Sula was the coach for a minute.
It was Tom Sula. I'm sorry. 2015 was Tom Sula. 14 was Harbaugh's last year. And then they hired Tom Sula for a year, and then Kelly for a year, and then they went to Shanahan.
Right.
So let's see. Draft combine, Danny. What did we see?
Very
Anybody
fast wide receivers.
for the Raiders to draft? That's fine.
Danny, I have a very important question for you.
Oh, you're gonna do this on air.
No, it's not. I hope it's not what you. It's not probably not what you think it is.
Not we talked about the other day.
No, we have not discussed this yet. This is brand new information that I need.
Oh boy.
I need a Xavier McKinney breakdown.
Xavier McKinney breakdown. Very good
Because
player.
we're going out big. We're getting a big free agent. It's happening.
Okay.
I need a safety. I want Xavier
He
McKinney.
can play.
There's a list of other guys. Jamal
Yeah.
Adams is very well available for you guys, and it won't
Absolutely
cost you
not.
anything for Jamal Adams.
Nothing. Jordan Poyer is actually something I would be interested in.
Yeah,
But
you get to
I
watch,
think Xavier
and you get to
McKinney's
see his
top
wife in Green Bay Packer colors. That would be nice. See, the thing with McKinney
As
is,
long as you keep him off ATVs, you'll be okay.
Well,
Okay.
that's a given. But with
That's
him,
a problem because there's not much else to do around here except for
yeah,
offense.
good point.
So
Good point. Yeah,
that's a problem.
So-
But
no,
we
No on the
we got
ATVs.
a con.
yep, that's a con. That's for sure a con.
the thing with McKinney is he's still young. He could play both in the box and center field.
Need that.
He played every snap for the Giants last year on defense.
It's impressive.
Could he be making? Well, under Wink, he wasn't really supposed to make game-changing interception type plays. So I wanted to see him do it with the new coordinator.
But you think he has playmaking ability? He has the ability to
The
do it.
potential's there, but
Okay.
he's not Ed Reed.
Okay.
He's not Ed Reed or Troy Polamalu, if that's what you're asking.
Earl Thomas kind of thing.
Earl Thomas kind of thing. But he is a very good safety, and hopefully the Giants find a way to keep him.
They're not using any.
just
They're not,
ignore-
obviously not franchise tagging him, but they're not. I don't even know what a transition tag does.
So
but
a
they're not
they
using-
didn't do it.
tag
It
is
was the
basically
same
gives you
day.
a chance to match it.
Right.
Okay.
It's
And they didn't do
basically
anything.
making
And it
you
was
a
13 million
restricted
instead of
free agent without
16.
making you a restricted free agent.
And they would have saved like $3 or $4 million.
It was like 17 for the franchise and
and it
like
was 13.
12 or 13 for the other one.
Right.
Okay, so that's a lot.
Hold on, I'm
I
gonna
hope
get you
he comes back, but we'll see. He's probably
Okay.
gone.
someone
And the problem with
posted
him
it.
is he's very emotional on Twitter. So if you do get him, he will make some weird ass tweets.
That's interesting.
He's probably gonna ask a lot about cheese on Twitter.
He's going to ask about cheese.
Probably. He does weird shit on Twitter.
Okay, so his off the field stuff, I'm not in love with because if he's all over Twitter, again, there's not much else to do around those parts, so he'll be bored. And you can ATV, so not the best, but I'm hopeful
Somebody posted the list.
because this seems like a bad safety draft from everything that has happened at the combine so far. So it's either Cooper DeJean or nothing in the draft. And
Yeah,
they never draft who people say they're going to draft.
This
so.
is the year, Vin. You're getting it. You're doing it.
I want Cooper DeJean. Like that's just
You're getting a wideout and you're getting a playmaker in the first round.
no, absolutely not. They don't have enough. They have too many receivers as it is. I want Cooper DeJean. He can play slot. He can play safety.
You don't want Justin Simmons? You rather McKinney over Justin Simmons?
From what I've seen of them, yes.
So available, not including McKinney, Simmons, Jordan Poyer, Jamal Adams, Kevin Bard, Quandre Diggs, Rashawn Jenkins, and Eddie Jackson.
I think
All
Micah Hyde
available.
is also a free agent, and
Who?
I just like
Micah
Micah Hyde.
Hyde. Come home.
I just like it.
coming.
Like-
Get the video ready.
Correct. But then, and I personally, I mean, we've talked about this a million times, that I'm not confident in their free agent spending on big things. So I think they're going to go more the route of someone of his level, maybe. Well, Poyer isn't really on
I
his
don't
level.
think you're gonna get McKinney because McKinney thinks he's gonna be getting paid like
Right.
the Bates style of thing.
Right.
So
So
and
I'm
the
leaning
thing with
more.
McKinney is McKinney thinks he's
Poyer.
better than what he's worth right now, and
Okay.
God bless him. But he is like I said, he played every down for the Giants last year in a losing season, and he left it all on the line for us. So I have nothing but respect with him.
Right.
So
Where did the Giants find $41 million in cap space?
This is
the
cap
new
went up more
ad,
than
the
we
cap
thought.
went up. We got rid of Glowinski. That's about
Packers
it.
have
right now.
$12 million in the cap space.
But they haven't cut Bakhtiari yet. When they cut
That's
him,
gonna
they
be-
get like $25 million.
And the
cap.
Giants
it's
should-
gone. It's over.
And the Giants should 100% cut Darren Waller because he hasn't made up his mind yet about
Yes, he did.
retiring. And
He did.
no, he doesn't
said-
know still.
He
changed-
said,
he
"I'm
doesn't know
coming
yet.
back." That's why the
No, and
report
then
came out.
4 hours later, he said, "Never mind."
Oh my god! So he's retiring, or he might.
He
retire?
doesn't know yet. And then he's not going to say it until after free agency. So
Oh my god! What a
they
dumb-
could lose 5 or 6. They can get 6 million in cap and lose 7 in dead space.
Got it. So, Danny, I guess the next question we have to go to the question that we were talking about the other day. What are we doing with the quarterback position?
I think they are gonna.
If they are truly, Danny has said it all along. If they're truly in love, they draft him. But they have to be truly in love.
I am worried if they stay put. And this is not. I'm starting to come around on JJ just a little bit.
Oh my god!
I'm getting all of them. I was talking to my boy about it.
I'm not. This is what I asked Nikki the other night.
Sorry, they picked 9.
There's 6.
6.
So
So
here's
basically, 4 of the quarterbacks are probably going to go before the Giants.
here's the question.
At least 3.
At least 3. So here's the question: do you rather get the second best wide receiver or the 4th quarterback? Is what they're looking at the moment.
Do you
It's
think they
either
get the second best wide receiver?
Because you're figuring Harrison's going to be going to the.
I know.
Cardinals.
I think you might be getting the 3rd best wide receiver at that point. Is what I'm saying.
Possibly. Well,
Because the
it's,
key, the key's going to be
Chargers
one
are
of
the
the
wild
Broncos. The Broncos picked before us, right?
no, they don't. It's the Chargers and Cardinals.
Okay, so the question
That's what I'm
becomes:
saying. I think the Cardinals take one of the receivers.
Yeah, that would be
And-
Harrison if everything goes to plan. It's the Chargers that are a wild card because of Harbaugh. We don't know if they're going to go wide receiver or alt or whoever the best tackle is.
Well, doesn't Alt come in and make a problem because they have what's his name who got hurt
Sorry.
last year?
I
The
just
guy they drafted a couple years ago.
Yeah.
clicked on a mock draft from Sports Illustrated, and they have the Vikings taking JJ at 5.
That means they
Sorry,
traded
wow.
up.
It does mean they traded up from the Chargers in the Charger pick.
Listen,
yeah,
that's something
so
the Chargers
you
could
would
do.
take Neighbors or the other
Aduzie.
Aduzie, whatever it is. His name
Yeah.
is. Okay, yeah.
But
I see
if we were to get McCarthy, holy shit, here we go. Here we go. All right. He's
Now
a better
what?
He's a better prospect than what Daniel Jones was.
Listen, I said it a couple months ago about him, and I said it to Devin the other night.
He
I
has
do
the
believe
intangibles.
He has the making, and the improvement over 3 years for him has been incredible. That was one thing that I was very impressed with, like the progress that he made over 3 years.
Right.
Okay. But I also said, and I said this to Devin, a jet situation would be perfect for him to go sit behind Aaron for a year
From what I
and
saw
learn.
in the
I don't see
playoffs-
Daniel Jones being a guy who can go and take a guy under his wing and teach him anything.
But
I
it
don't
doesn't
see
matter.
Daniel Jones doing that.
He still needs. I still think he needs to sit, which is not great for a guy who's been in college for 3 years.
Listen, people
I
thought guys like Burrow should have. No, not Burrow.
No.
There, a couple of the guys from last year's draft class should have sat who started. People
See,
thought Levis
but
came in
here's
too
the
late.
thing. If you're drafting JJ at 6, there's no fucking way he's sitting on the bench for a whole season. There's no
Right.
way.
So then,
If
what
there's
do you do?
anything,
There's no
DJ
way.
starting the season and then he's coming in
No.
eventually.
Okay, so Danny,
Maybe
what's
a game or two. There's
what's-
no way.
what's the evacuation plan of DJ?
He's done next year because they have the out.
He has
So
the
next
out
year's
after,
the out.
after
You
the
have to
season.
wait.
The dead
he's
cap
back.
He
sucks.
becomes your clipboard guy on the sideline.
The dead
Right,
cap
okay.
sucks the following next 2 years, but whatever. Look what the Broncos are doing with fucking Russell Wilson.
Well, now they're looking to trade him.
Who wants him? They
The
already
Steelers.
know.
Apparently, he's in Pittsburgh.
That
having conversations.
GM needs to get fired and never GM ever again if there's a trade, because since December they're like, oh, where he's gone.
Right. He's getting cut.
You
So
guys should
why-
listen. He was on the Marshall
Yeah, it
podcast.
was Marshall. I heard. Yeah,
It was
He's just
actually a
being
good.
delusional.
But he was
No.
smart about it. He's like
No.
he's like most
No.
contracts have this clause
Right.
with injuries, right? His is just
Just
significant
matters,
because
yeah.
it was so much money, and that's why it's coming out there, and it came out publicly.
Couldn't
Yeah.
happen to a nicer guy. Couldn't happen to a better
The
guy.
thing with him is he's gonna the Broncos owe him $80 million the next 2 years, so he's gonna take the minimum, whatever that is, the next 2 years. He's gonna get paid by
Pittsburgh. If I was Pittsburgh, I would take him in a heartbeat for the minimum.
Right.
Oh, I don't have to pay you. Kenny
Right.
Pickett. I could bench Kenny Pickett in his gloves.
Snacks actually thought the Giants. Well, he doesn't like the idea, but he goes, the Giants could be another team that could do that as well.
So if they cut him when they're going to, it's $107 million in dead cap this year, and then I think that's it.
For what?
If for Russ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I heard $80 million the next.
No,
2
it's
years.
more than that.
He's.
Mm,
It
I
all
thought
depends
owed.
on when they get cut. When he gets cut.
Oh,
It's
I
one
That's
of
what I'm
those
saying.
things.
I heard-
According to this,
I thought he was owed $80 million. Then that's the dead cap. Wow.
Okay, so if he's cut right now, as of today, dead cap is $85 million.
correct.
If he's
I'm sorry.
released. If he's traded today, the cap is 68. Now, if he's cut anytime between now and June 1st, it's 107.
That's what I was looking at.
Okay,
But that's when they're
because
cutting.
right, he's getting cut basically Sunday because Monday is free agency,
Right. It's
or
temporary.
Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it is.
Wednesday's is free agency.
So it's gonna
Monday's
be
the
80
If
temporary.
he gets traded, though, it's a 90 million. So you're saving some money on the dead cap. You're also, the cap savings if you cut him is 71. But if you trade him, it's only 54.
The Broncos
But if you
played it wrong
release
if
him
that's the case.
after, if you delegate that June 1st release, right?
Right.
It's a $35 million cap hit for this season.
and
Dead
40
cap and 49 next year.
So
Which isn't as bad as
it's
You
not
know,
as bad as 100, but I think
how do
plan
you
is
spend money if you're paying a guy $100 million on your.
I
on
don't
your
know
cap?
how that works, but to me that you're just punting this season. You punt right now. 100
Well, they're already punting the.
I know, so it doesn't matter. So let's get it out of the way now. Let's not worry about any dead cap next year.
They're clearly the fourth best team in that division.
Right.
That's
Unless
why I look at that division and I say maybe the Raiders are a team that may look at him and say, "Hey,
yeah, that was another one. Yeah, we said that. You said
It's
that.
going to be interesting because Fields.
I would
falls
if
into
I'm the Steelers, I would look into it and have him fight it out with Kenny Pickett. If Kenny Pickett wins, great, because you have 2 or 3 more years with Kenny Pickett.
Mm.
And then if not, Russell, it's better than Mason Rudolph going into the playoffs with.
well,
Mason
listen,
Rudolph.
the biggest circle right now, quarterback wise, in the league, in my opinion, is Tampa. What is Baker? What are they waiting for? Are you signing Baker or not?
Well, Baker already said that he wasn't signing a hometown discount, so that's probably the holdup.
Well, yeah, because he can't. Think about it. He's coming off a much better year than people expected. So if he this is his chance to get paid.
I agree. And then he saw someone like Daniel Jones get that much money, and he's like, "Fuck you, pay me."
Well, he's very clearly the best option. Like I'd rather have him than Fields or Russell Wilson.
See, the thing with Fields is still that shiny new toy rookie contract where
You only really have to worry
In
about the
that-
option on him.
No.
You're really just making an option decision on
Yeah.
Fields at this point.
right, but you could still see it if he has a better offensive minded coach with them, he can do work maybe. Remember, they finished 8-9 this year.
They did finish 8-9 this year. I don't know. I haven't seen
Listen,
it.
that's the biggest question. Vin mentioned the Giants possibly getting the third best receiver. What's the odds of the Bears taking Harris Jr. to 1 and being like, you know what?
No,
Screw it.
they would be a legit mutiny.
Would
They
there, though?
can't. They can't.
Now,
If
That-
they
I mean,
believe in
obviously,
Fields, they can.
Chicago would burn down to the
100%. But if they believe that much in Fields, or they don't feel like they're getting a right package, what are you going to do? Have
can't.
2 first overall picks sitting there in your quarterback room?
No, they have to. That's the thing. They're not getting what they're going to trade him for a second or something.
Yeah, they're gonna get whatever best offer is. and
Because
it's
they
gonna be
also have 9.
that. Yeah,
Like that's their pick, I think.
Right.
yeah.
So
yeah.
they're going to get their receiver at 9, probably the third best one.
Baker should
Whoever
go to
is
Carolina.
And Dunze, yeah.
Adunze probably.
Baker should go to Carolina and just give a big finger to Tampa.
See, but
But
is
nobody
there a
wants to go to Tampa.
spot?
Nobody
I mean,
wants to go to Carolina.
I have to sit.
Well,
down
he
and
already
think.
went to Carolina and they caught him last year.
Right.
2 years
Is
ago.
there a spot for Baker? Is like what's
Denver.
the spot?
Well, if he doesn't want to get paid, Denver.
I think
Denver-
I think he's still gonna go to Tampa. I still
Yeah.
think. I think Tampa. They're gonna hold out for Tampa. Mike Evans is still there. They have a good offense.
Right. They
did
got a
win
good
playoff
deal.
game.
So if you're going to look at teams quarterback wise with financial availability, Washington.
They're hoping to get Daniels or May. and
Right,
Right.
they're
Mays.
drafting somebody.
They're picking before us, though.
Yeah,
No.
they're
Pick
number
2.
2.
Oh, yeah, they're 2. Okay. So they're picking basically whoever the Bears don't pick.
Basically.
The Titans have 80, but they're not going to look. The Patriots are an interesting situation.
I saw a rumor today is
they're-
if Daniels gets picked by Washington, they would look to trade back
they
the
want
Pats.
because
so
they
want
don't
Daniels.
like May. For whatever reason, this week's been the May knockdown of May this week.
He's not going to go to Houston. He's not going to go to Chicago. He's not going to go to Detroit. He's not going to go to Indianapolis. He's not going to go to Arizona. The next best option is the Raiders
That's not
and the Falcons.
The Falcons are an option.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go.
If he wants to give the finger to Tampa,
Fields
the
or-
Falcons are the option.
Fields or Cousins.
Did you
Oh, I
guys see the
forgot
clip?
about
Apparently,
Cousins.
it
Then
was
that would potentially mean the Vikings are in a spot unless they move up and get someone,
But like,
or
if you're
they-
looking,
or they go Penix. Penix would be a great fit there.
Where?
Penix and
Minnesota.
Jefferson. Oof.
And then
Um,
you got Addison too.
Right. And then all you got to do is pay. You could, and you're still got Addison and Penix now coming in on basically rookie deals. Both of them on rookie deals. You have the money to pay Jefferson. Boom.
there isn't
Better
really
than the
that
Packers.
team. There isn't really that team that like. I guess it's maybe the Raiders that like is a quarterback away. You know, maybe the Colts. What do the Colts do?
Well,
Oh,
they
they
have
still have
you're
Anthony
hoping
Richardson's
Richardson's
back.
coming back,
I
and
forgot he'll be back.
you bring him back for a year, and then you're worrying about it.
The
Right.
thing with him is he's so raw, so you got to just deal
Like,
with it.
And
It's
he's also
Cleveland,
and
but
he's showing that he's fragile. Now he shows he's fragile. And if he's
Cleveland
gonna run around a lot
can't
like he
get out of
did,
there.
if he gets hit, it's a problem.
This is, it's hard for me to see the Baker or Cousins going somewhere that isn't where they were. You know,
I can't see Cousins leaving Minnesota.
but
'cause-
Baker. That's what I'm saying. There's not really a lot of options that somebody would say, Baker's my guy that's going to get me to the playoffs. You know,
Right, Atlanta doesn't really have a team built to.
I mean,
What does Atlanta have?
they have an offense. They won 7 games last year with the chaos that they were doing. Now they have a new coach. Atlanta's really the only spot.
I just can't see the fact of. I feel like Jefferson wants Cousins, and if you're gonna get him to sign a long-term deal, it's basically, hey, who do you want you throwing the ball this year? Even if that means, like Danny said, they're at like 11, I think, in the draft, right?
Who?
The Vikings,
Yeah.
something like that.
That sounds about right.
They have 11. So you
Yeah.
sign Cousins on a non-guaranteed deal for the first time in his life. don't give him $80 million guaranteed again.
But now is
you
the
could
time
draft
'cause
a
he has
guy
the
like Penix
Achilles
and let him
injuries.
sit behind him.
And he has the Achilles injury.
Right. So you
The
let
thing
Penix
with
sit
Penix
behind him.
is he's old enough to. Him and Knicks are old enough to play right away.
Danny, are we getting Kevin Gates back?
Andrew, Nick Gates.
Nick Gates?
I mean,
Who's-
to be a backup.
Kevin Gates is a person. Who is that?
He's a rapper.
Wasn't that Britney Spears' boyfriend?
No,
was
Kevin
Kevin
Federline.
Oh,
Kevin
sorry.
Federline.
Kevin Gates. Just a rapper, yeah. Danny's on it.
Danny's more into the cool
Danny's
kids
into
thing.
rap.
No, he's past my my hip hop knowledge. I just remember seeing his name a few times.
Okay. Felt like Kevin Gates.
How's spring training been? I haven't watched a second of it. I'm
Alvarez has been
honestly,
hitting.
I've been living through the Mets group chat. That's about it. Of knowing what's going on.
So far,
All of our young guys are going to get exposed and injured next week when they have to play in that future game, so we won't have any
I
minor
forgot
league
about
guys. We have no minor league season.
not much has happened so far. I'll be honest.
Honestly, that's great. Other than the Senga injury, I'll take
Other
it.
than the Senga injury,
Did you see the thing I just recently sent? The most recent thing I sent? I found out this rule today. If
With
you
the
block
blocking
like
the
a base on pickoffs, the runner's automatically awarded the next base.
Interesting. Okay.
I just learned that's a rule now. So
didn't know that.
our
Alvarez
boy
is
Joey
having a
Wendell
night.
just blocking bases out here.
Alvarez is having a night. He threw out 3 guys today. 2 of them with Adam Ottavino pitching.
And hit a bomb.
If he has a breakout year, I will change my tune on being optimistic.
That's a big, The
thing with him, if he has that breakout year, come trade deadline time, you give him his extension. Get the arbitration years out of the way.
Right.
Give him that 2 free agency contract.
Right.
Bottom line is, will Vientos or Beatty hit? Which I doubt.
I still have some faith in Beatty.
I have more faith in Beatty than I do Vientos.
Yeah.
I just
Then I saw that we're still kind of monitoring JD Davis. I'm shocked because we have.
we don't have a third baseman. We don't have a second baseman. Apparently, we don't have a left fielder or a center fielder.
What about McNeil?
McNeil is a little banged up.
I feel like he died somewhere about a month ago, he got his car and drove away. Lindor gave him a car and he drove away, and nobody's seen him since.
His elbow is a little banged up. So when they played the Yankees yesterday or 2 days ago, and they basically ran out their opening day lineup, except for McNeil, who's hurt. Everybody else, they had Marte. Marte's looking good. That's one thing.
Yeah, but he's looking good in spring training until he pulls a hammy in the first week of April.
He needs to stay away from the big booty Latinas.
He's married to one, so it's kind of hard to stay away from.
Threw somebody out at third with the arm that we've seen before. Lindor, normal stuff. Pete, couple homers, I think.
Okay.
Again, it's going to come down to
extend Pete.
Right, correct. Pitching wise,
the guy saying all the right things to wanting to be a Met.
Okay.
Also, shout out to him for being a 90 overall in MLB The Show this year.
The starting
and 99 power from against both lefties and righties.
The starting pitching is not off to a great start.
I know.
Actually,
the guy and he shaved and cleaned up his hair. He
cut up his hair. Quintana got lit up.
Quintana had a good outing. He gave up a bunch of hits, but only 1 run.
And I saw we have spring training McGill, so that's a good until
McGill dealing.
He's still giving up hits. He's still giving up bombs with 2 outs, so he's good to go. He's ready to go.
Fujinami pitched today and looked good. Apparently,
he had a clean inning. Quinton had 3 innings, 4 hits, a run, and 6 strikeouts in 3 innings.
Nothing crazy has happened yet.
Dykman got the win, by the way, today.
Diekman,
yeah.
And the other day they were playing Narcos on the backfield during one of the games, and they were and apparently Diaz was running out of the bullpen. So they're practicing his trout from the bullpen.
He hasn't pitched yet.
He's ready
in spring.
I want to make sure he doesn't step wrong.
Yeah, nothing crazy really. Like they kicked the young guys out of camp really early.
Well, that was basically to get them set up for the game that weird.
I know, but usually you would see like they would hang around and get
some extra bats and stuff.
I don't know what's going on. It like the other day, maybe it was the Yankee game. They had like 3 at bats. Or everybody had 3 at bats.
Well, they're getting into rhythm. They're trying to get
already.
into.
We're 2 weeks into. We still got 2 weeks.
Here's the rhythm. Here's the rhyme.
Like usually,
You're
you get,
still
like,
making the
10 at
change.
bats.
You're still making the changes, but
All right. So the real important
What the
question
fuck
is:
happened?
Nemo
we
had 3
like-
at bats. Lindor had 3 at bats. Marte
do
3 at bats.
we like the new manager?
Who knows? He's got 85 guys on the team. We haven't put him in a situation
So-
where it
Or
matters
like
yet.
hearing him talk.
Okay.
I try not to
here's
listen
the
to
thought.
anybody talk.
Is he like a clown like Mickey Callaway, or okay, we could see him being good? Because I've seen all the he's a player's coach
Right.
articles.
Nobody's
and, like,
made any complaints about the managerial position yet.
I
Nobody-
How
heard
does that
there's
sound?
ping.
Okay.
Evan Roberts said there was a basketball hoop in the locker room.
They're saying that the vibes are better. Now, the report that I heard about the vibes being better was from Steve Gelbs. Steve Gelbs is a homer. Steve Gelbs works for the team, so you
Right.
take it with a grain of salt. But everything I've heard, he sounds fine.
I just want to win games. All right, I don't care if
Just make the
players are
season exciting.
just
Danny,
win.
I'm relatively sure they're going to be
Yeah.
competitive, even if it's their
I
I
hate
third
know
when
they
Vin
wild
are.
talks
card
like
till the
that.
end
course
of the
I
they are.
hate when Vin talks like that. You know, this means we're winning 40 games all season.
No,
Yeah.
because they're
I'm not
slower.
listening.
Who's the
to you
first
this year.
overall pick in the 2025
Vin bullied
MLB
me.
draft? Because
Vin
that's who we're
bullied-
getting.
Vin bullied me to picking the Mets to win the division last year.
Oh my
Vin
god!
literally mentioned
We're
getting
mad,
a
Danny. You
Francisco
don't think they're gonna
Alvarez
win?
jersey last year, and then the guy fell off the face of the
The
planet for 2 months.
question is, whose son is going to be the first overall pick next year in baseball? Because that's just the only thing we get.
There's
these days.
there's another Jackson. There's another holiday. Remember they did the.
I don't think there is.
There's another
not-
holiday.
He can't have had kids that close together.
He did.
There's somebody named JJ Weatherholt.
Ethan Holiday is 17 years old.
Okay, well, good for Matt
He's not
Holiday.
from Latin countries, so he's not going to be drafted.
Was having a good time.
They should like move him down to the Dominican Republic and find
Yeah, right.
the Dominican deal.
Ethan
Not a
Holiday
bad
has
idea.
committed to Oklahoma State.
Ooh,
Okay.
Cowboys.
He'll be graduating high school in 2025. He's a third baseman / middle infielder, just like his brother.
Okay. Danny, they're gonna be. I can't tell you they're gonna be interesting.
good.
The pro-
We're gonna be in third or fourth place.
Yeah, it's not. Here's the way I look at it.
We're not going to be
is-
the Nationals.
yeah.
we're not
Thank
gonna
God
be
for
the
the
Nationals.
National.
That's what.
It's
that's
really all depends on the Marlins eventually.
What
being-
Marlin team shows up?
Well, that's
And
the
then
thing.
what
The-
happens in the Central, too? Are the Reds going to keep moving forward with their young guys?
The Marlins want to trade all their good people, so I don't
Shocking.
really.
Hold on, let me find my surprise face. It's that
I know.
time. it's
They,
that
they
time
want to
of
do.
the
They're
year.
doing it
It's a
again.
good run.
Um,
Some teams shouldn't be baseball teams.
I'm gonna say words that if people clipped this would get clipped, but
Don't worry, Vin. No one's clipping you.
a lot of
I'm on Opus already, ready to
you
go.
might be ready to clip it. A lot of the success of the 2024 New York Mets rests on the shoulders of Luis Severino, so that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean that's not clippable. You're not the first or last people.
But it's a problem. Like I think they came into the season saying Sanga's 1, Quintana's 3, Hauser's 5. We hope that Minaya and Severino sort themselves out to be 2 and 4, whatever one is 2 or 4. And I don't think that's a horrible plan, but you know you get a 50-50 shot at one of them pitches like a 2. And the bullpen, I like the bullpen. Listen, kiss of death. It's famous last words. I
Listen.
don't hate what they've done with the bullpen.
As always, we have 0 debt in pitching.
They have. I mean, okay,
Like I can't see Tidewell coming up this year.
Well, it's those.
He's going to
guys.
be close, but
It's-
can he
it's
come up this year?
Tidwell, It's Vassell, and there's another young guy too,
Hamill.
Christian Scott, I think.
Oh yeah,
That are all going to be in triple.
Hamill's the bullpen guy.
I think Hamill. Oh, maybe Hamill too. He might be a starter. I forget.
Listen, we have a lot of guys in the major leagues where the young guys don't look like they can make the team, but you got guys like Clifford that's coming out of college. You got Parada who's been in college. They may eventually who's the backup catcher?
Nido. No,
Okay.
Narvaez.
We-
They're both still here.
Yeah,
so we should be
Narvaez is still
seeing
there.
Parada by like June.
No, I
If
don't.
he's hitting, we probably will see him by June. Because Nito's only here to bunt. Because it's the only guy in baseball who could bunt.
I was trying to like talk this out the other day. I don't see a path, but I guess this is probably the way it is always. I don't see a path where even an injury gives Acuna or Gilbert a spot on this roster. Like if somebody gets, it's gonna be the same thing where if somebody gets hurt, they move Jeff McNeil and they put Joey Wendell at second base, and then
Right.
that's
There's
the
got to be
answer.
multiple injuries to get
Right.
Acuna
It had
out.
to be a couple guys, and then like we talked about it. We were texting in the group chat the other day about like the outfield depth that they do have with what's his name, Trace Thompson, and the guy they got from the Brewers. His name is escaping me at the moment. So like if one of those gets hurt, if somebody gets hurt, well, Marte probably obviously or Nimmo like he always does, they'll go to one of those guys
I
and
mean,
not.
we don't have a left fielder. So
The only, I
is
mean,
Bader going to play left field?
no, Bader's going to play center and Nimmo's going to play left.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
Just because Bader is like
So the Gold Glove center fielder that we signed for 8 years is going to move to left field.
we talked about this. I think it wasn't even the last show because we did the last shows. They signed Brandon Nimmo to an 8-year contract and then immediately started moving him out of center field. Immediately.
After didn't he win a Gold Glove?
He did not win a Gold Glove, but he became a good center fielder. We always talked about it. But Bader is like elite. Bader is essentially the best in center field. So they.
The thing with Bader is I like Bader. He's a good player. It's just he can never stay healthy.
I said this to my coworker about Acuna. If they expected him to make the team this year, he wouldn't have been sent to the minor league camp already.
Correct.
He'd still be there. If they expected any of these guys to make the team at a camp, or if they wanted to put any of these guys over somebody they signed for one of those 1-year deals this year,
Right.
they would still be in camp playing
Right.
against these guys.
He's
But they're
the
not.
only
So-
one that has a shot to get has a realistic shot to me to get on the team with significant playing time, and it's only if Lindor gets hurt because they don't have Joey Wendell is the backup infielder. He's not really a shortstop. He can play it, but he's not really a shortstop.
Well, I said the same thing. If McNeil's got to move to the outfield, Acuna could be the guy who comes up if you don't like Wendell playing every day and you want him to be the guy who can rotate in. If you want to keep
Sure.
Wendell on the rotate in, you could call Acuna up if it's going to be a long-term thing and you let him play second.
If they get a shot, well, that's the other thing.
He's played a lot of second. That's why I'm looking at it.
He has played a lot of second, but let's say they're not, they're middle of the road. They decide to sell. There's nothing to sell. Like
Right.
you could sell McNeil, right? It's
McNeil's
the only
sellable.
one.
If you're going to
He's the only
sell,
one.
it's Jeff McNeil.
You could sell Marte too. Marte, if he comes
He only
back
got
and
another
has a
year
year
on
left,
his contract.
I think he's
so-
only got a year left anyway.
That would be the
So-
contending team of like, oh god, okay, they're one legit piece away.
Correct.
They're
So,
they're
I
a
guess
speed. They're a
those
base
moves
runner away.
Would open, yeah. Well, I mean, if he's
If
playing
we
like
could get
himself,
2022 Marte before he got hurt, we're sitting pretty. If we have protection
Sure.
for Pete.
well, yeah, that's the thing. If you get, so that was the other thing, Danny. Did you see?
And
the lineup they
hopefully
had
the
against
injury
Yankees?
last year was the reason why Pete's batting average dipped a lot. That's what I'm worried about.
I was also hoping that. I looked at his numbers yesterday,
It was
and I eliminated June, which was the month he got hurt and came back too early.
yeah.
And it was like he hit, I think, 217. His average was like 225 without June, so it didn't help that much.
I
It helped,
know.
obviously.
Fucking new baseball.
But also, like, it surprised me again looking at his numbers. I didn't realize how high his average was. He hit 270 2 years ago. Nowadays,
Yeah.
270 is like almost 300.
I know. He
So-
killed it that year.
Yeah,
He
So,
could have.
I-
He could have gotten MVP. If they won the division, he would have gotten MVP votes.
yeah, it would have been tough with.
No, he wasn't going to win, but
Sure, but he could have
gotten
gotten votes. He probably did. Let's see if he got.
I'm sure he got one.
He definitely got votes in the 19 season.
Yeah, because he broke the rookie record.
Right. Let's see if what other years he had votes. Yeah, he was finished 8th place in 2022. He finished in 17th place last year. That's very surprising. He got a 3rd place vote.
When you look at the team, he was really it last year.
He got 3 vote points. I don't know what that means, but I think it means like a 3rd place vote or a 4th place vote. So good for him. They'll be interesting and competitive. I don't think it's going to be a disaster, and I don't think it's going to be great. So that's kind of just where I'm at.
Well, hopefully it's not a disaster.
No, I
can live with not
floor.
great.
I think the floor is the amount of games they won last year, which was like 77. And if you balance that over a whole season and not like a horrible month of June, which we always get, and this is just what happens, it'll be bearable.
We just skip June. We all just skip
We all
watching
just skip
that
June.
month anyway.
It is what it is.
Can they get me to training camp? That's all I ask for.
What
every year?
Let's see with the DraftKings.
I think they'll get you to training camp.
I've been using DraftKings a lot more. Let's see what the.
I think they're over under most places about 82.5.
Yeah, they've been 500.
But again, the Diamondbacks won 83 games.
Stop comparing us to the Diamondbacks, Vincent.
I wasn't comparing us to the Diamondbacks as if we're going to the World Series. I'm comparing them because that's what the bottom wild card is in the league now.
Diamondbacks right now is 83.5, by the way. Braves won 590 for Baltimore.
And the Blue Jays won 89 games. The Mariners won 88, and then it was the Yankees at 82. So like 82,
Wow.
83.
White Sox are 63.5.
Yeah, they stink. 82, 83 wins is like the bottom of the wild card.
No, the Rockies stink. They're over under 60.5.
The Rockies lost 103 games last year.
The Tigers have 80. The Rockies have 20. They're projected to win 20 games less.
I'm bringing this up. You guys probably didn't see it. There was an article in the Athletic about
Dodgers
Chris Bryant.
only 103, huh?
Chris Bryant and like why he went to the Rockies. He was like, "Well, I needed a job."
81.5 for the Mets on draft.
Yeah, I mean, there's a 500 team.
56.5 is officially the lowest.
And Ace?
Yep.
Damn.
Let's see. This is that last year they're playing there, right?
We don't know.
We don't know. Didn't Vegas say,
confirmed.
no, we're
It's
good?
chaos.
Well, if you put $5 on them to win the World Series, you'll win $2,000.
How many teams they say are going to lose 100 games?
Lose 100 games?
How many over-unders are under 62?
Under 62, we have the White Sox are at 63.
Okay, so
the Rockies are at 60.
Okay. And the A's?
And the A's are at like 50-something.
Okay.
56.
So it's only 2.
This is good for baseball.
Because I'm looking. The White
Nationals
Sox
are
lost,
66, by the way.
The White Sox lost 101 last year. The Royals lost 106, but they've gotten a lot better. And then the A's and the Rockies. Cardinals should be better. It's going to be interesting. See what the Padres do. I don't know. Like, are they, they're not obviously as good as they were, but what does the loss of Soto, do to them?
And
Weird.
I'm gonna be on record. He's not leaving the Yankees. There's
You
no
don't think
shot.
so?
There's no fucking shot.
Listen, when you're watching Met games next season, Daniel, and it's Juan Soto and Alonso going back to back every night,
I'm sorry.
You will salivate on a nightly basis.
Sign me up, but he's not leaving the Bronx.
I can't see it either. You know what's crazy? You know that over like the last 5 or 6 years, whatever it is, I forgot what the exact number was of years, but like Rizzo has like the most home runs as a lefty at Yankee Stadium in that time, or like has the highest amount in one single season over like the last 5 years at Yankee Stadium. It's like
he's the only real legit lefty.
But still, like, isn't that ballpark made for lefties to just
but they don't. have any.
I mean, Soto also goes oppo a lot.
Right. No, Soto's a spray hitter. He doesn't just hit the ball one side.
It's also not really a home run hitter now. I know that
Right.
stadium's going to change things, but he's like,
Yeah, that's gonna change.
okay, he's a 30 homer guy. That's it. That's not obviously not Trump. That's not bad, but he's not hitting 50.
There's no way the Yankees are gonna let him go.
I don't see it either. But he will get to free agency. There's not going to be an in-season extension, I think.
No, you're right,
But he
I don't
will get
see
to
him
free
leaving.
agency.
I don't. There's.
Who?
It's just nuts.
Pete or Soto?
Soto.
Soto.
Both of them. Both of them.
Yeah.
I could, I was talking to somebody about this, and I could see a scenario similar to what Lindor had, where like the day before opening day, you hear about an extension with Pete. I could see that scenario. The
He's gonna
difference
fire
is,
Boras in the next 2 weeks.
This is a different scenario because we just traded for Lindor and we had to make good feel moment of, hey, we did this.
but that's also the other thing I'm worried about. With Pete is his head. Is his head going to be in the
I think
what's
he's
my
fine.
contract situation this year?
He's had crazier situations and he's lived to tell them.
But if you're him, like it's no secret that the middle class of the league is being eaten alive, and I don't think
Right.
he's the middle class,
Right.
but he's closer than the middle class than he is the top class.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
his position itself lends to the limitations of the league, and
Right.
he's not an elite defender. He's not even a good defender.
It's like
Yo,
running
he's
backs in baseball.
Yeah, he's basically a DH. So
Right. That's the other thing. Is Pete going to be saying? Is Pete willing to put in the terms of his contract? Hey, when we're ready to remove you from first base, there's no argument.
he's not bad enough at first base where he needs to get off it right now.
Right.
But-
No, I'm saying like if you're giving him a 7-year deal at the age of 30, at 35, if we have a younger first baseman, it needs to be said.
I mean, that's the
Hey.
right business move to do.
Right.
But he may also look at a guy like Freddie Freeman who still plays first base and say,
Freddie Freeman has multiple.
But he's also
Right.
a different
100%,
style of player.
100% agree on that side.
I get it.
Listen,
he wants
he's going to
to be
look
a
really good in
lover.
Dodger blue next year when Freddie Freeman's like, I'm a DH now. Sign Pete Alonso to play first base. I'll teach him how to play
Oh
first
my
base.
god.
When they lose in the first round this year.
I admire everything he wants to be defensively. It's just not there. It's not
Yeah.
there.
I remember clamoring for Dom Smith to play over him and him DH. So.
Right. During COVID year when they first had the DH.
Right.
Let Dom play.
It's very funny, and it's just so Mets that when there was no DH, we had like 3 DHs, and then we get DH, and they haven't been able to figure it out.
Well, they're
Dang,
too
of all the
cheap.
batsmen in the
They're
league.
too cheap to figure it out.
No, but I'm saying like they had like
Let's rephrase
when
that.
when they needed a DH with Dom, they didn't have it, and then when they
Right.
needed DH with Cespedes, they didn't have it.
Right.
And then now it comes, and they were like, "Yeah, JD Davis, sure, who is available now, I guess."
Yeah, he's available now.
We're not
Wilmer.
doing that. I will trade for Wilmer before I'll trade for him.
I agree.
100%.
He led the Giants in home runs last year.
Because the Giants only use him against
I
left-handed pitching.
know.
I mean, we
Still
would have to
funny
do that. We
here.
would basically be doing the same thing,
It's
though.
still
'cause-
funny to me that he was our starting shortstop for a World Series team.
He very much. Well, let's see what I want to look at what his splits were last year because
I
you
want to
can't
go to
have
bat.
that many home runs. There's just not that many left-handed pitchers in the league. You know,
We're not doing this. Not tonight.
I'm looking at it really quick. It's
I'm
pretty much
doing my
even.
Francesa. We're not doing this, okay?
He has figured out how to hit right-handed pitching, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy.
300 average against lefties, 271 against righties,
did
15
it.
homers against righties, 8 against lefties.
It's still funny that he was the all-time Met leader in
And
walk-off hits.
Wilmer's great.
He's
If
a great
anybody
guy.
gets a coming home video to the Mets, it's Wilmer.
He has to have had one. already.
Imagine if he didn't
No, he would
cry.
get one if he got brought back to the team.
Oh, brought home.
Imagine
yeah,
if
yeah,
he didn't cry.
Imagine they actually traded him.
You
Imagine they
imagine
actually made that trade.
that 48 hours of him crying and hitting a walk-off home run.
Do you
What-
think the
how
crying
different-
mattered though?
Yeah, but think about it. If you trade him, you're getting Ryan Braun, right? So now we don't even get
No,
Cespedes.
You're not getting
No,
Ryan
Who
Braun.
are we
we're
getting
getting
Carlos
Gomez.
Gomez.
Oh, that's right. We were trading him and Zach Wheeler to get Carlos Gomez, who was trash basically when we got him like a year and a half later.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing. Okay, we're gonna break. Danny, we're doing this. If you want to log off, log off. The whole reason why they didn't do that trade is because they didn't.
You're writing the rundown tonight for doing this.
I'm writing the rundown. They didn't like his hip. They didn't like his, and then that's why he stunk after because his
You
hip was
remember
fucked.
just watching that game.
Gomez?
Was something
Yes.
else.
He
The
was
crying
hurt.
game or the walk-off game?
The crying game. I was at the walk-off game.
The crying
The crying
game.
game was insane.
I was in the car when he hit the walk-off.
I'll
We
never
were just
forget.
bugging out in the car.
He's crying and left. He's crying at shortstop, and somebody tweeted like, "The Mets do realize that there's somewhere between shortstop and LaGuardia, right? Like he doesn't have to be standing out there."
And we were getting murdered. We were getting absolutely murdered.
Lucas did hit three
Right,
home
this
runs
poor
that
guy
game.
is getting
We were
standing
hitting 3 home
ovations
runs.
after every.
And everybody's like, Wilbur, you're getting traded. And David Wright goes to Terry Collins, and Terry Collins is like, I didn't get a call yet, so it didn't happen.
The
Shut up,
grumpy
Terry,
old
just
man
kick
is
him
just
out.
sitting in the dugout like, I'm
Kick
not
him out
taking
of
the guy
game.
out.
This is terrible. This
It's
guy's
so
crying.
annoying.
This
that
guy's just
David
crying
Wright
in
had
the
to do
middle of the
everything
field.
for this franchise.
And then
Like, you see
then
the
you
guy
have-
hysterical crying over there? Like,
then we have Carlos Gomez. We have Carlos Gomez celebrating on the team flight with the Brewers, saying, I'm going to the Mets. Let's go.
Yeah.
and then Zach Wheeler, nobody knows where he is because he's got his Tommy John surgery. And we're just like,
Apparently, he called them and asked them not to trade them, and they were like,
Yeah,
"Sorry, bro."
nothing we could do.
well, don't worry, guy. We gave you the best deal we could. We
But
let you
again,
walk to go get
so
paid.
you look back at this conversation we're having. Zach Wheeler, like maybe Hall of Fame pace the way he's pitching right now.
No.
He's not a Hall of Famer. You're right. He had too much of an early career.
It may be a
The whole
slow draft class Hall of Fame type of guy.
Stud pitcher, Wilmer Flores, a legitimate MLB bat. And
We were going to get
imagine
Carlos
they traded that and
We
got
dodged the
Carlos
bullet.
Gomez, who wouldn't have been good as Cespedes, even if he was.
We
okay.
weren't going to the World Series.
They weren't
But-
going to the World Series. They weren't making the
But I
playoffs.
guarantee you, Gomez wouldn't not tell the team he's not showing up and
That's
just walk out of a hotel room and just leave.
That's Cespedes run was the greatest run I've ever witnessed as a Met fan.
Oh, that last
It's
like
the
couple
best-
months of that season
Yeah,
was
that August is the best thing we'll ever see.
Basically, up until the first at bat of the World Series.
yeah, that run. And then it was all downhill from the horses and the cars next year at
Yep.
spring training.
I mean, he was pretty good in 2016. If we're being
Right, no,
honest
he was
with
good, but
ourselves.
then he started
Well, we
hanging out with.
overpaid
Then he
for him.
bought a wild boar, and it was all down. He
Yeah, his
didn't
ranch.
buy
the
it.
guy from Lion King,
It
and
attacked him.
Yeah, on his ranch. Because he's a Dutton from Yellowstone.
he wanted Puma from Lion King.
This feels.
He thought
like
the
it's-
thing would sing Hakuna Matata to
What
him.
team's
instead-
going to pick up Noah Syndergaard since we're reminiscing those teams?
Listen,
Nobody.
we're gonna get him in like July.
Ugh.
When David Peterson's arm
It's
falls off
too
during
bad he's
his
such a-
rehab.
Too bad he's such a douchebag because
With-
he would be such a great reliever with the gas he throws.
Yeah, but he can't
He
even
doesn't
throw
throw
gas
gas
anymore. That's the problem.
That's the thing.
Yeah, well-
even if he got the reliever tick, he'd be throwing like 95.
He needs to
That's
go
not
call Rich Hill and be like, "Can you teach me how to pitch like you?" That's what he needs to do.
He's too
He's too
thick-headed
stubborn.
to ever.
He's
yeah.
too thick-headed. We sold the organization. Sandy, I don't know. Somebody sold their soul for that season
Yeah. Take 8 years.
because all of them,
no, 9 years. Oh my god.
from Wheeler never actually coming back, and then when he came back, going to the Phillies, to Harvey, to Noah, to even throw Jake in there. All the nonsense with Cespedes.
Our entire starting rotation from 2 years ago is on the IL though. So from the last 2 years,
That's a good point.
except for Will. Well, actually, he wasn't there 2 years.
No, he wasn't on the team.
But-
Max is on the AL, and so is Jake, and so
is
Verlander.
Verlander. Yeah, but then it's basically the Rangers are getting 2 starting pitchers come mid-season.
I don't know what Jake's timeline is, though.
Well, he's coming off Tommy John, so you got to figure July to
Yeah.
August, somewhere in that range.
Because
Max
he
who
had
knows?
it. He pitched. He had it in April or May, fucking whatever it was.
It was like right before we played them, because he didn't come. Remember? Oh no, that was like August.
Baseball Reference has his projections at at 81 innings. So yeah, by half a season, July is roughly. He made 6 starts last year. So yeah, May.
And they weren't good. So
he was 2-0 with a 2.67 ERA. That's pretty good.
I feel like he got blown up a bunch too. He got pulled from a couple of those games.
He got blown up. Okay, before we do this, I'm gonna pull up his game logs really quick. I think it was opening day. He didn't pitch good. He gave 5 runs opening day, but then he went 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, 1 run, 7 innings, 2 runs, 4 shutout. I guess he got pulled. 6, 1 run, and then 3 2/3, no runs, and when he got pulled against the Yankees. And that was it. So he was doing fine. He also has the best strikeout to walk ratio in the history of the league. That's just another thing Baseball Reference is telling me.
With that being
What could have been? What could have been?
With that being said, let's re-sign Bartolo Colon.
He would still find a way to pitch and be okay.
He'd still be the best number 3 starter we have on the team this year.
I'd like to see it.
Well, he officially retired last year, so
thank God.
I mean, he needed to, but yeah, good for him.
With that being said, we are going to be back in a couple weeks with our baseball preview show, where we will talk more about the baseball and all the fun times ahead for the 2024 baseball season. So, with that being said, we will see you then.